Well, hello there, and welcome to another edition of Warbird Wednesday. My name is Fred Bell. I am the Vice Chairman of the Palm Springs Air Museum, and today we are headed further into the dark of night as we are in October, things that go bump in the night, and that is Night Fighter Row, and we are talking today about the de Havilland, the Mosquito, the DH.98, probably in terms of aircraft, one of the most versatile aircraft that really was built in World War II. It was built in all kinds of different variants. It was, first flight was in 1940. It was introduced in 1941. It was retired in 1963. I'm going to give you a Fred fun fact today as well on this airplane. It's kind of interesting. There were 718 of these built. They were built in all different kinds of variants, and today we are going to talk about the Night Fighter version. But before we do that, I am going to take off, again, any tie to you. No, tie to the airplane. And the soda, you know, we don't see the soda until the segment. And today we have got a real doozy for you. So no tie, but I'm going to go ahead and get this off my head and toss it to the big chief, Greg Kenny, off camera there. That kind of went sideways on you there, Greg. So I'm going to fix my hair. We'll go ahead and throw up a plan view of the Mosquito. So the interesting thing about the Mosquito, the DH.98, was it has its roots. De Havilland built a lot of high-speed airplanes, and it has its roots going back to the DH.88 Comet and the DH.91 Albatross. It was envisioned by the Air Ministry when they actually approached de Havilland and a bunch of other manufacturers, aircraft manufacturers. They were trying to build aircraft out of non-strategic materials. Well, what is a non-strategic material? Wood. So everybody, and the Air Ministry, when de Havilland actually came up with this aircraft, the Air Ministry was not excited about it at all. Now you think about a lot of the British aircraft were built out of wood. Handley Page had done that. A number of people had done it. But the Air Ministry didn't like it. They also thought that de Havilland was nuts, and that was that nuts. That's a technical term, Greg, and that was that there was no way that they were going to get an airplane that was this big that was going to go 400 miles an hour, because that is what de Havilland had told them, that the airplane would be made out of wood and it would go 400 miles an hour. And they said, you are out of your minds, is what they said. Of course, when the aircraft actually flew, it outpaced a Spitfire by 20 miles an hour. So think about that. That big an airplane was faster than the fastest Spit at 392 miles an hour. So they were darn close at 22,000 feet. Now today we're going to be talking about specifically the Night Fighter version of this airplane. It was used in reconnaissance. It was used as a day fighter. It was used as a fighter bomber. It was used in a number of different capacities. This particular airplane has the good old glass nose on it, but it was used in a number of different schemes. And that was one of the things that made it just so pardon the British term, bloody versatile. It was, it could do a jack of all trades, and wood is easily repairable, and it made it a lot lighter. And so what it really turned out was, once they built it and the Air Ministry saw what the prototype could do, is, like I said, 392 miles an hour, they fell in love with it immediately, because this was, unlike some of the other aircraft that we've talked about, like the BF-110 or the Defiant, this airplane, it had no problem holding its own. It could hold its own against the best Luftwaffe fighters of the day. It could outrun them. And if it needed to go into a offensive capacity, it could do that. Now, from mid-1942 on, it became a night fighter. Now, it was not only a night fighter to home in on the bombers, but what did it do? It actually chased the bombers home and attacked them at their own airfields. So think about that. That is a game changer. So not only do the Ju-88s or the Henkels, the 111s, or whatever's bombing London, this aircraft would loiter, or waves would follow the raiders home, and they would actually attack them on landing. So it had to be incredibly stressful for those German crews that would not only hit the target at night, which was very difficult back then. That's not an easy thing to do, but knowing that you had these, the sharks of the sky, right? These aggressive aircraft chasing you all the way home and might attack you in your most vulnerable position, which is when you're going to land. So I am going to put this down for a second, and I'm going to pick up my salute today. And my salute today, Greg, you have outdone yourself. Another Lester's fixin'. This guy, he should be declared a terrorist, a weapon of mass destruction, because Lester, he is tormenting me, and he is tormenting pure cane sugar on this one again, which honestly, when I tell you what this is, how you got pure cane sugar in this one, I don't know. This is Enchilada Soda. Thank you, my keto assistant, for coming up with that. But Enchilada Soda, really? So the salute today is to these Mosquito crews. Not only were they versatile enough to do anything that the RAF needed, but they did it well. These aircraft, if you look at how they were employed all through the battlefield, not only they even attacked on Hitler's birthday, they attacked a Berlin radio station that had Hermann Goring actually doing birthday wishes to the Fuhrer and knocked him off the air. So they did all kinds of missions. So to the RAF crews that flew these Mosquitoes, I salute you. Now there's a fizz, so we've got that. That's kind of exciting. Do I really have to do this? Yeah, Greg says, yes, you do. All right, we're going to... I'm dreading this one. I'm really dreading this. Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah, Greg's like wafting. Oh, dude, really? Oh, that is like an affront to your taste buds. Disgusting is not the right. There should never be a liquid chilled enchilada that is orange shaped. All right, second sip. You notice how much of this I'm drinking, which is just enough for the palate. Oh, that's just nasty. That's. So mosquitoes quickly became the bane of the nighttime existence of raiders, of nighttime raiders in Great Britain. But they did not stop there. The aircraft were fitted with a couple of different tricks up their sleeves, Greg. One was called Sirat. Now, Sirat was a homing beacon in the aircraft that they could home in on German radar night fighter missions. So the Germans are up there trying to get the bombers. The Mosquitoes are up trying to get the Germans. So think about that for a minute. You're chasing in. These are early, electronic countermeasures, ECMs, and they would actually home in on the emissions from the German attack radars in their Bf-110s or whatever they were flying at the time. So that is a offensive operation that the airplanes were involved in. They were also, this is another Fred, these are Fred fun facts, by the way. They also had another system in them called Perfectos. Now, Perfectos homed in on, and maybe if you're at home, you are not versed in military aircraft, identification friend or foe, IFF. everybody has it. And as the airplanes went on during the war, they would squawk. What's a squawk? They would shoot out an IFF signal. The IFF signal would identify to the friendly gunners that the airplane was a friendly airplane. And this, as more and more airplanes got in the air as the war went on, became very important. They would squawk this signal and they go, okay, those are friendly aircraft. Well, like any other radio emission, you can hear that, right? You know what frequency they're on. Well, the Perfectos system allowed the Mosquitoes to home in on, if the German radars were off, it would home in on the IFF signal. So they had two different electronic countermeasure systems in their night fighters that would actually allow them to find these offensive German aircraft. They were offensive to the bomber crews too, right? The offensive, you get it. I've got my lowbrow humor out tonight, but they allowed them to actually take that to the German night fighter crews. Now, they were incredibly successful. Wing Commander Bronze Burbridge, I hope I didn't destroy his name there, had 21 kills in a Mosquito, 21 nighttime aerial victories, and Wing Commander John Cunningham had 19 kills on these. So that just gives you an idea of how successful these airplanes were. Now, they soldiered on after the war, but here's another interesting, this is another cool Fred fun fact here, and that is that 180 surplus Mosquitoes that were from Canadian surplus Mosquitoes flew attack missions for the nationalist Chinese against the communists in China. So these aircraft, not only when they were done, they continued to fight, and eventually they were retired in 1963, and they moved into history. Now, imagine you got these two Merlin engines up there, similar to what powered a Mustang. The thing had to be just louder than heck. But can you imagine you're over in China and you've got these things bearing down on you? It must have been absolutely amazing. But then they went into history. There have been a number of Mosquitoes barn finds and aircraft that have been restored. They are an interesting restoration because they are made of wood, but there are Mosquitoes flying again. There was actually one over at Plains of Fame about 6 months ago from when this video was shot, and I was trying to get over there and see it, but I couldn't, and I really missed that. But I would love to actually hear what one of these in person, what one of these aircraft sounds like. But this is ingenious, another ingenious way of coming at a specific problem. And we forget how important English aircraft engineering was at the start of the war and all the way through. They really, not only aircraft, I'd be short selling them, but radar and also force vectoring, air intercepts and stuff like that, the stuff they did in Battle of Britain, all that stuff laid the groundwork for a lot of the modern stuff we do today. So the Mosquito is another testament to the British ingenuity. How about if we leave it at that? And then it went into history. Now, you could be watching this at home and you're saying, well, I want something that represents the RAF. Well, we have it for you, and that is this beautiful Spitfire hat with the roundel. It even has the United Kingdom's flag on the back, so you can represent. It depends on who you're talking to, whether they're English or from the United Kingdom and all that kind. Find an English person, and they will explain that to you. You can also see that it has Supermarine, and so people will think your name is Supermarine on that. What do you think? No, Greg's like, no, just shut up. Your humor's killing me today. And of course, another take on the British emblem on the other side. But if you want one of these great Spitfire hats, just go out to the website, click on the link. Jason will say chip, chip, cheerio, pip, pip, cheerio, and run down and mail this out to you. He's closet English. He really is. So he will get this out to you. Now, if you have come across us on YouTube, all we do are long-form military aircraft videos. We would encourage you to subscribe to the channel. And if you know someone who can get past the Enchilada Soda. By the way, the finish on that is I'm going to have to go brush my teeth, man. That is absolutely disgusting. But if you know someone that likes long-form aviation videos and can get past the little idiosyncrasies, forward that to them or just subscribe to the channel. We would love to have you subscribe. If you come across us on Facebook, give us a like. Always give us a comment. We love those. And remember, we cannot do all this. We're standing in front of this great RAF exhibit. We cannot do this without your donations. Click on that link and donate a few pounds. I could donate a few pounds there. Donate a few pounds so that we can keep going and do the videos and restore these fly these fantastic airplanes. My name is Fred Bell. I am the Vice Chairman of the Palm Springs Air Museum. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a great day.